It's Nolan.
Hey, who that boy named Nolan? Coming straight up out the swamps, I feel like it's New Orleans. Finna drop another flavor pack, bitch, I'm calm. 5'4", but my style enormous. I woke up fresh, my swag is alarming. Hold up, I gotta pace myself. When I rap, I race myself. On these tracks, I amaze myself. I ain't got enough ops, nigga might just waste myself. And I bet that shit gon' sell, I'm self-made, well paid. I don't fuck when niggas need a barricade. Man, fuck your album, need a hairnet. Got 2 straps, Nike Air Raids. I'm in my creative player phase. Every setting, I'm a 99. I just signed on a dotted line with my hair looking like Einstein. Flow kill 'em like cyanide. Breaded up, Long John Silver. All cash like a drug dealer with the same teeth on Reggie Miller. Bitch, I need queso, pesos. Brands on me like racer clothes. Too much drip in my A-flow. Pockets feel like egg rolls. Health insurance, no HMOs. Got a new record on HBO. Fuck the radio. No military, I'm signing up for Navy Federal. Ayy, they say not to brag. I need to be more humble. Ayy, verse, I be going dumber. Like the hoes on no jumper. Keep my cars on airplane. I don't even really need a phone number. Backstage, I just curved them out and hit the jets on a light road runner. I'm that nigga. Yeah, flow on glacier. Y'all don't get my nomenclature. Kill the beat, that's Nolan's nature. Watch your tone, my homies on papers are birth styles. Hot like a first down. I just spit like a 30 cal, too versatile. Gotta talk money if it's worthwhile. I don't converse with clowns, but nigga,
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody out there is doing well. In this video, we're going to be doing a Let's Talk session since the news cycle is a bit light. You know what I'm saying? As we start this new year, it's only a couple little things notable going on. So we had to try to turn something into something. Or nothing into something, rather. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been a lot of bullshit, little rinky-dink ass stories going on. So in this video, we're going to be addressing Lil Durk's father. He's coming out, calling out the U.S. government on behalf of his son, of course, Lil Durk, and his murder for hire situation that will be going into trial next year. There's a lot of talk going on around this case. The feds allegedly have a lot of evidence that's going to implicate him, that's going to put him on audio, video, phone calls, surveillance footage, all types of shit, you know, commissioning all types of violence, not only in Chicago, but also, you know, with the incident that occurred out there in LA with Quando Rondo. So it's not looking good, you know. So now his dad has come out and done some sort of, I guess, what they're calling a press conference or some sort of interview where he's talking about the situation. He's not happy. I wouldn't expect him to be, but I would think you would be unhappy with your child, but we'll see what he has to say. In this video, we're going to be addressing a situation with 2 YouTubers by the names of Deara Taylor and Ken Walker. Now, for those of y'all out there that don't know who these people are, it's all good. Miss Deara Taylor, she has a YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers, and her ex-boyfriend Ken Walker has a YouTube channel with about 200,000 subscribers. They used to create content together. They made a lot of money together, but since they've broken up, it seems that homeboy Ken Walker is holding on to the money, holding it hostage, not trying to cut her in. They had some sort of agreement about keeping all of the earnings that they had in some sort of account in case they needed it, but she can't get access to the money anymore. She's assed out, I guess. I won't say assed out like she's broke, but she's assed out in terms of trying to regain possession of those earnings. He's popped out with a new girlfriend within the last couple years. I think he's actually rebranded their old channel into a new thing, if I'm not mistaken, or at least that's how people are talking about the situation. She's now filed a lawsuit against him to try to get access to the money. I don't know how this thing is going to pan out. He's got a new video out talking about the situation, responding. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. And to cap things off, we're going to be talking about R&B artist Miss Tedra Moses. She's finding herself in a little bit of hot water for defending R. Kelly. She was on the R&B Money podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine. They were asking her top 5 R&B songs, as they do every guest on the show. And one of the songs ended up being an R. Kelly record, right? And she goes into all the reasons why she loves the record. I mean, she didn't say anything about him personally, but she talked about the music. And she ended up getting called out about it on Twitter. And she decided to crash out on Twitter in defense of what she had to say. So we're going to get into that as well. Okay. Like I said, we got to make something out of nothing, baby. We got to have these conversations. We got to talk. I got to come to the people. You know what I mean? So let's start out with Lil Durk Pops. All right. Big Durk. What you got to say, sir?
Recent case that they brought against your son, we haven't seen any comments about it from yourself. We would just like to know your feelings on the matter so that we can share with the wider public.
Alhamdulillah. We first like to thank everyone for their support, their love, the encouraging words that they gave us as a family. We thank the fans and everyone who stood by us. I leave all legal issues to the lawyers to break that thing, what's dealing with that, the legal issues behind it. As far as the family, as far as me as a father, only thing I can say that it's mighty strange that once he started doing good out there, once he stayed away from all the gang banging and dissing the dead and doing things out there in the street, when he turned his life around, when he on his deen now, practicing religion, doing things for the community, bringing about peace in Chicago and throughout various cities, all of a sudden now he being indicted, just right off the Muslim conference that we had in Chicago calling for peace. Now 3 to 4 days later, he's being indicted after that. When he put up on his concert, all the people that got killed in Chicago, showing that this is not what it's about again, he get indicted. But now he's being indicted for that. So look at the bigger picture here. Look at what the government trying to do. They always got their whole thing is you doing wrong, you doing bad, then that's good for them because that fill up the prisons. But when you start doing right and telling people to stop doing wrong, then all of a sudden you're an enemy to them and they have to lock you up.
Now I hate to tell you, Big Durk, but wasn't you locked up for some of the same shit? You know what I'm saying? What was your excuse? You feel like they waited for you to become a positive person in society to get you? Not to mention the fact that everything that's done in the dark shall one day come to the light. So what type of precedent are we setting that your son could allegedly be out here commissioning murders? We're not talking about just head up fights. We're not talking about one-on-one brawls. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no motherfucking warrior come out to play. This ain't none of that type of shit, okay? This ain't none of that goddamn blaxploitation film. I'm gonna get you, sucker. This ain't none of that type shit. We talking about real people's lives, and I'm not saying that nobody on his side lost life or nothing like that, right? We wanna be respectful to the dead on all fronts. But we're talking about murder for hire. We're talking about putting money up to go have somebody's child eliminated from this earth. So much so that the feds say they have evidence of him stating that there was money on the line to take somebody out or anyone associated with the GDs in Chicago. So any one of them was fair game. Just walking down the street, going and getting them a burger, going and getting some Harold's chicken or whatever the fuck. Hey, one of their heads will do. Come cash in just to set the tone, set the precedent. We can't co-sign that. As much as we listen to violent music, no sir. I don't give a fuck how many Muslim conventions y'all do and conferences. That's honorable. That's great. But how do you feel? How do you think that your community would feel about the things that he's allegedly done? Because it's all rumored, right? We don't know for sure. But if it's found for sure that that's what he did, how do you feel that this community would feel? You know what I'm saying? Now, I know there is forgiveness in Islam, of course, but come on, man. Like, let's be honest about things here. If we're going to be righteous, let's be completely righteous. Let's not false flag with it. Let's not half step with it. I understand it's your child, but you should be having the conversations with him. Should have been having the conversations with him to where he could have avoided going down the same pitfalls and twists and turns that it took for you to get to this moment, right? if I'm not mistaken, you just got home some years ago. You were missing for a lot of his childhood. And as you coming home to be a part of his life, he's possibly leaving to no longer be a part of yours or his many children. And a man with as many kids as Dirk got at a young age, he would want to be present for all of them. He would want to live a motherfucking stand-up life. You know what I'm saying? So let's not do the bullshit, sir. Get your son's affairs in orders if you can. And hopefully y'all have good lawyers that can help him perhaps maybe one day come back, you know, based on the fact that he has the resources to maybe receive lenience from the state or from the feds or whatever the case may be. You know, people with big money tend not to have to go through the same shit that average everyday citizens that get caught for the same shit would. So we'll just have to see how it goes, right? But to make it seem like, oh, now that he's turning a new leaf and he's being positive in the community, all of a sudden he's gotten indicted. All of a sudden we did a motherfucking conference and now y'all want to come snatch him up. Sir, they've been collecting data on this boy for 10 years. They could have got him any day. But all this investigation, they may have never got him had that situation with Quando never happened. They may have never got him if some other shit never happened, but it did. They allegedly got snitches in the camp that been on payroll for damn near a decade. They just been collecting data. They been human hard drives out this bitch. Not to mention they got hard drives with allegedly 230 gigabytes of footage, audio, and some more shit. The object of the streets is not to get caught. When you get caught, you just gotta just deal with it. Sir. Not gonna sit here all day and talk about this shit. Best wishes to you and your family, though. Now let's get to these influencers, Miss De'Ara Taylor and Ken Walker. I'm gonna give y'all a quick little rundown of the scene, all right? So they say Miss De'Ara Taylor is suing her ex-boyfriend and fellow influencer Ken Walker for theft and embezzlement. According to the lawsuit, De'Ara claims that Ken unlawfully took money out of their joint account after they had already settled how they were going to split the funds. In the lawsuit, De'Ara explained how they started an LLC for their brand as a couple and had accumulated thousands of dollars over time from their YouTube channels and brand deals. All of this came crashing down when Ken kept getting caught in cheating scandals. And after doing a couple searches, I seen that since about 2020, he had about 2 or 3 different cheating scandals where he was seen with other women. Okay? So they eventually broke up in 2021. At the time, they had contacted a business lawyer to help them split the money because De'Ara felt she deserved more because during the rough patch in their relationship, she continued to make content, but Ken did not. She also would put her personal brand deal money in their joint account in good faith. So she was making money off of brand deals and also contributing to the account. We don't hear anything about money he was putting in other than his YouTube, and he had stopped creating content. So maybe their channels were separate, but they had the money going to the same place so that they could have joint accounts, which is typically something you would do in a marriage, not in a typical relationship. But maybe they were supposed to they were projected they were gonna go for the long haul. You know what I mean? That's one of them things that people say. You don't give married privileges to your significant other. I don't always agree, but in this case, I'm inclined. All right. Furthermore, they agreed to keep the YouTube channel. Okay, they say channel, so I guess they did have a joint YouTube channel. And allow $80K to be kept in the account for business purposes. De'Ara could pay the truck off and keep it. Then they would split the $40K loan they got on it when it was returned. I don't know what the story is on this truck, but apparently she needed to pay it off. I don't know if this is an everyday vehicle or if this was like if they got into the trucking business. That part I don't know. We'll keep going. They say, well, almost a year later, Diara checked the account and discovered almost all of the money was gone. When she reached out to Ken, he allegedly admitted that he had taken the money for medical bills, which he did have some sort of medical issue, had to get surgery. I think it was a heart surgery or something like that. Let me refresh myself in just a moment about that. In the lawsuit, she notes that they each received about $200,000 from a buyout of a joint property they had. So he shouldn't have been hurting for cash. So they also had joint properties that they owned together. However, he was selling his stuff. Okay. So they decided to end their couples channel, and Ken allegedly agreed to pay back the money. Well, he allegedly never paid it back and claimed that he's broke and now has to live with his mother. Diara claims these are lies because he continues to flex on social media. Now she wants him to pay for all the money he allegedly stole on top of the business taxes that he's been allegedly ducking, and she's had to pay on his behalf. Jesus. So they were doing content together. They had joint page and separate pages. They were supposed to be sending their wages all into this one account so that they could accumulate funds and make, family decisions. But they never locked in that actual family, right? So then eventually they break up. She's putting brand deal money over there like a fool. I don't know why. But maybe she still had hope that one day they would get back together. It would seem that way. They accumulate over $80K worth of money in this account. She goes and checks it, and one day it's all gone. He done withdrew that shit and put it in his own shit. He claimed he needed the money for medical issues. Let me see what his medical issue was. Yeah, so I was correct. He did have some sort of heart issue. He needed heart surgery. So I guess he took all the money out in order to get this surgery done to save his life. But she says that money was not supposed to be for that. You just sold one of our joint properties for $200K. So you shouldn't have been hurting for cash. Surgery, hospital shit, them bills, they run up on your ass. Shit get tricky real fast. But she say he's still been out here flexing on social media, making it seem like he got it. So you need to pay up. She now wants an excess of over $100K. Of course, that would be the money that was in there. Plus, I would guess all the lawyer fees, filing fees, and everything else. Pain and suffering. And that whole deal. Shit is crazy, man. This is the type of stuff YouTube couples go through when they no longer together. Folks be couple goals till they be, smoking on the X-Pack. It's fucked up. But here's what Mr. Ken has to say in defense of himself, all right? Because he's coming out and refuting her claims.
All right, let's go ahead and address this really, really quickly. First of all, good morning. It's too early for this. But anyway, let's go ahead and address a couple things. Number one, the $40,000 regarding the car. Came to the end agreement after we had a number of conversations about it. You keep the car. We break even on the loan. The car's valued like $43,000. The loan's $40,000. We break even. Boom. Never heard about it since. You got a bill of sale. You got the title to the car, everything. Cool. That was it. Regarding the bank account, again, extensive text messages regarding this. We had a phone call after all our conversations, December 12th at 4 p.m. I think in 2022 this was. Again, this is in text messages. We had a number of conversations on it. People on your team said, hey, you file this personal income, pay the taxes on it. Cool. Never talked about it since. Everything else, Snapchat, the YouTube videos, whatever. It's like, I thought we moved past this years ago.
Now, I will say these two people do look a little young. Wishing them all the best, but this should be another lesson, man. Sometimes it could be a good idea to put your money together and build financially and do that stuff, but sometimes it's good to keep your shit separated, keep your nest egg on the side, make sure that you got your own shit in case anything pop off, in case y'all were to split, in case anything major were to happen, you're definitely gonna need your own money so to where you're not taking out from a joint account that y'all have to make joint decisions and have to, either agree or do rock, paper, scissors in order to make a decision. Because you could find yourself in a bind and really need it. And the other person is like, I'm not co-signing on what you're trying to spend this money on. You go out and do it anyway. And it becomes a big fucking deal, especially after the fact. So, that's what we have on them. And again, these are two popular YouTubers. Her channel, once again, has over a million subscribers. So some of y'all may be familiar with her. Some of y'all may not. But I've been seeing this come across my timeline. So I said, I'll talk about it since the news week is pretty light right now, any fucking way. Now, last but not least, let's get to Miss Tedra Moses. If you're not familiar with Miss Tedra Moses, she is an R&B singer. She's been around for a while now. One of her most popular songs is Just Wanna Be Your Girl. And if you even notice me, oh, you gotta feel me. And that shit. Dope song. I love the K-Tronada remix. You know what I'm saying? She got a couple other joints. She did a stint on Maybach Music with Rick Ross for a little bit. He really only utilized her services to do some hooks and drop a couple singles. I think she's back independent again. But apparently, she was on the R&B Money podcast. And, she's a renowned songwriter. Beautiful voice. Been around very long. Not surprised that she was on there. She was recently viral for her Tiny Desk performance. A lot of people said she looked like Felicia Rashad. The mama from the Cosby Show. So, she gets on there and she's talking about her favorite top 5 R&B songs ever, and she ends up bringing up an R. Kelly joint. Now, she ended up getting called out on Twitter about this, and it seemed that she was going to remain quiet. And when I saw this happening, I was like, I don't fuck with homie. I don't co-sign homie. I don't listen to his music, nothing. But I kind of took into consideration the generation of people that were 10, 15, 20 years older than me that were like of the era of his music, that actually had like life experiences to his music, bedroom experiences to his music. Some of their children may have been conceived to this music. It's hard for me to empathize with it because I'm just so removed from it. But when I look at it through the lens of people who actually lived a day-to-day lifestyle, probably playing his CDs and tapes, I can understand why they still have some sort of connection to that music, although I may not concur, right? I can understand why, they would say, I want to separate the person from the music because these songs got me through some of these times. These are the soundtracks to when I met, my husband or my wife or my this or that. So I wasn't, gonna go too crazy because she didn't say anything about him specifically. She didn't say he was a man of good dignity and character or anything, but she talked about the songwriting. But then once she got called out, which I honestly would have expected her to think she was going to get called out anyway because the man is completely canceled, she decided to crash out. So here's what Teedra Moses originally said on the R&B Money podcast. And then we'll go from there.
That's right. Or is, let me say that. Okay. Top 5 R&B songs.
Adore You by Prince.
You better do it. Better do it.
Greatest Sex, R. Kelly.
Ooh, what a song.
You can close your eyes and see everything he's saying.
Mm-hmm. I was so angry when I heard that song.
How did you get to anger?
Because in my mind, I was always competing against him, even though I wasn't at that space yet. And I was like, he's still so much better than me.
The honesty.
Here inside my, what do you say? Here inside this bit of mine, I see ceiling fans and you on top of me. If you close your eyes, you
You see everything.
literally
Everything
can
he's
see
saying.
it.
Yeah, everything he's saying.
And inside of these walls,
There will dwell a Capricorn who will feast your body all night.
Tell my truth.
And something, and a
A
love,
love child will be born. All because
the greatest.
The greatest.
And it's just so beautiful. And then the production was amazing. Let's see. What else do I have? Sade strong.
You know, so that's the clip. That's the situation there. It's kind of painful as somebody who knows better, you know what I mean? And also knows that the source of, you know, those very lyrics was most likely a minor, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's tough to even, again, relate to what they're talking about, but I have to understand that they come from the era when his music was dominant and it was influential. It played a role in their development as artists and songwriters, because he was the guy in position who was writing for the entire industry damn near. And of course that had an effect on how they created music. But I also think as we age and as we mature, we should also understand, hey man, all that may be true, but based on the things that this person did, it might just be best not to speak on it, right? Not in a public forum, because that's what the public is. When you come outside, you're a public figure, you go on a public forum, you say what you got to say, you can stand on what you want to say, but people are going to judge you for it. People are going to dissect what you say, how you say it, what you said. It comes with the territory, right? So from here, let's get into the young lady that called this situation out. Okay? So this young lady by the name of Trixie F. Pixie says, okay, I did watch R&B Money podcast with Tedra Moses, and I sincerely would like to say, fuck her. She says, I don't know how many times we have to repeat that Robert Kelly was writing songs about relations with teenagers, and the reason why it's so visual is because it's teaching kids how to engage in sexual activity. Let's just say that, because I don't want to use the explicit version of that tweet. She comes back. She says, it's not like other abusers and people keep telling y'all that, and you want to be edgy or whatever, and you're ignorant. No other person was making so much art about sex with youth. Like, what the fuck is not clicking? His art is about his abuse. Y'all keep saying you love R. Kelly so you can be like, oh, I'm standing on it. We not about to have you standing on shit. Fuck what Tank talking about. I had no idea who Tedra Moses was before Tiny Desk, and I don't give a fuck, she says. She says she is a flop, and I say shit in person, so holla at me. She continues, he calls himself the Pied Piper, a literal character who is known for luring children away from their families. I'm going to remind y'all old ass booches that it's young people who keep the music business afloat, and we have taken a hard line on R. Kelly at this point. You keep mentioning him because you don't want your career. Daniel Caesar said something bad about black women, and he became a has-been. Chris Brown is just barely hanging on. We don't fuck with you or that nigga. So where do we go from here? She says, I'm quote unquote them, bitch. You arguing with me. Fuck you. She then posts another clip, which I won't play, of Miss Teedra Moses. I guess further going into the context of the lyrics in this song, and said that you should visualize the sex that this man is having in order to write these songs. So Miss Teedra goes in more detail to think about what type of encounters the R was having in order to write these records, which when you take it to that extent, is pretty disgusting, because then you have to put everything in its proper box and contextualize. And that's nasty. Do I believe Chris Brown is just barely hanging on? I can't say that when he was just hanging on over a crowd of 90,000 people. But I'll digress because I'm not a fan. Okay? So that's what Miss Trixie F. Pixies had to say about the situation. And Miss Tedra Moses came back. Don't tell me she done took the shit down. I know I saved it. Where your ass at? All right, so Miss Teedra responds to Trixie F. Pixie because she added her. She said, just FYI, and this is Trixie. She said, just FYI, when you say, oh, I love R. Kelly, I don't care, what you're saying is, I love niggas who SA and mess with kids, and I don't care. Okay? That's what this young lady said to Teedra. Teedra comes back and says, that's what you are saying. I'm not the person you can put words in their mouth. I like R. Kelly music. He had mad amazing art, like many other horrible charactered people. Go start your bullshit with a bitch that don't stand 10 toes on who she is. I have compassion for all victims. That's one piece. She comes back again and says, you are a fucking weirdo with no life. You know I never defended R. Kelly. It is criminal to say somebody said something that they didn't say or force your own narrative of a conversation. I will say this, though. Eat dick and choke. I stand on that. I'm not a celebrity. Bum ass. That's Miss Tedra Moses. She comes back because Trixie Pixie said, fuck her. She says in return, fuck you, ugly bitch. And I ain't blocking you because I got time in the new year to bless you with these words. You don't know me, but those that do know me know what I'm about. Go play with your support dog, but don't play with me. Coming on this app with that bullshit, I will slap piss from you. That is Miss Tedra Moses, ladies and gentlemen. She claims that she's not defending R. Kelly, but now she's in a position where she has to defend herself. And it wouldn't have hurt you to just skip out on that. Even if you love that nigga music, you know, sometimes it's better left unsaid. Words we never said. Because you put yourself on Front Street like that. Yes, you say you're not a celebrity. We now see probably why. You know? And we now see why you probably won't be. Of course, that may not be your aspiration. But this ain't a good look, man. I mean, your best days are not in the future. They're in the rear view. You're talented. You make good music, you know? So why jeopardize what you have going on as a legacy act in support or even remotely supporting what we know to be extremely disgusting, the lowest level of behavior that we could possibly have in our society? Why even take that opportunity or that chance to play the game like that? Just shows how unaware you are. And Tank as well. I've heard him say we don't co-sign what he did, but with the music. And I get it because y'all lived through it and it meant something to y'all at a time where it was dominant, where it was everywhere, where it was a part of y'all's lifestyle. And we can't take that away from y'all. I got to be honest. But you should also understand the time that we're living in. You should understand the generation that we're living in. You should understand that the comforts that you enjoy during this time period are contingent upon y'all continuing to have a career within this time period in order to sustain yourselves. Y'all may get residuals and stuff off your old music, but to maintain the lifestyle that you are accustomed to, whatever that may be, y'all still gonna have to get gigs. Y'all still gonna have to, do what y'all do in the studio. Tank is still a writer out here. I don't know what she does. So it's just not a good look. But that's where we at with it. Of course, I told y'all we're in a position right now where the news is low and slow, but we're going to keep continuing to have conversations. So let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider, and I will catch y'all on the next one. All right? Y'all be safe out there. Much love and respect. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some batteries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.